Today I'm going to be summarizing the May 28th Azure Creation Development livestream. Each segment will have many links and they can be found in the description below. Once the new dev discussion comes up, it will be based on the fondest memories of the players. So for people with Alpha 1 access, there will be Alpha 1 preview spot testing coming off on every Wednesday or around about there. And just a reminder that the visual NDA is still up, so anyone with Alpha 1, you're not allowed to show any sort of footage, but there is no verbal NDA, which means you can talk about it. The introduction of the new content creator program is finally up, and they're designing a secondary program, a sort of boot camp or training thing, basically for all those other people that don't make it into the content creator program that is up right now. Any and all links can be found in the description. Moving on to the studio update now. They're getting ready to move into their new building. They are planning to move back into the studio in the middle of June. They're coming up with the design segment now, and it was a 30-minute Siege gameplay video which consumed the design segment for the majority of it. What this gameplay involved was the Siege gameplay, which is going to be occurring within the Alpha 1 month-long testing period coming up soon. And in this month-long testing period, there'll be 4 sieges a day. Okay, so just one thing I wanted to talk about is the Meteor skill has definitely been updated, and hopefully it should come soon. Here we go, so you can see even targeting. So it's like a channel of a circle ball there, and just the effect there. Oh, let me go back. Look at this effect. So it's not as consuming up your screen and completely cluttering the space around you, which I think is really good, especially when there'll be spams of them. I think it still needs to be slightly less, just because when it gets to the like 100v100 fights later on in the Siege gameplay, there's quite a lot of meteors, and it sort of gets hard to recognize like the area around you and what's happening. But there is an update there with the meteor skill, which I think is good. Oh yes. So another thing I wanted to mention quickly was, I think one thing that should be changed, now this is just my opinion, but I think that the damage you take from falling off the castle gate is too low. Like, I think they jump off and they take like 7 damage. Now 7 out of like 1,000 health at this level is nothing, and there's no real consequence for doing that. And I feel that you should either have to go through the gate or sustain quite a bit of damage jumping down. So I think that's one thing that should be altered. Now obviously all of this is in alpha, so it probably will be changed. How much, I don't know, but that is one thing I think. So here they jump off, let's have a look. Yep, see, 7 damage. So I think that is way too low, and it sort of defeats the purpose of, I don't know, that kind of last stand inside the castle and everyone rallying together, charging outside the gates. I think that's a really cool feature of sieges and castles and all kinds of fantasy stuff. Now you can watch this footage either on Twitch, or you can go on the YouTube channel, which will be uploaded. Now all these links should be in the description, so you can check them out. This Siege video wasn't the only thing that was presented within the design segment. It was probably about half of the design segment actually. Third last category, which is the environment segment. So starting off, we see some jungle / forest, I'm not quite sure which one, biome, with some temples ruined down, most likely a dungeon. Then we move on to some Dunia Crypt concept art, and this is really, really interesting. We then see some housing items. So they introduce a bathtub, a rather weird looking one. It's almost like a chair. You've got a backrest there, a tall backrest. We then see some drawers, some cupboards, and then lastly we see a rug, a dwarven themed rug, possibly or probably for a sort of guild hall. It looks too long to be for a freehold style house, but we'll see. There are many, many other concept art images, and here they are, just a few of them anyway. And finally we're on to the second last segment before the Q&A, and that is the character art segment. Firstly, we see a Kayla crown, and this is actually used as a control point in the Castle Sieges. And in that Castle Siege video, you can see the crown, I think it is this crown, sitting on the throne. Now something I'm really excited to see is updated character hair, or new character hair. Definitely from a few years ago in APOC, and even before that, seeing the character and just comparing it with now, it's just absolutely amazing. I mean, just look at some of these hairstyles. They are so much better. I'm really impressed with these. Can't wait to see some more. They then move away from hairstyles and move on to some alternative cosmetics for the NPCs. So this means that they've altered some of the cosmetics they've already made and put them for NPCs. And they've obviously changed colors and all that. Now finally onto the last section of this development live stream, and that is the Q&A, so the questions and answers. So there's only a few of them. Now the first question here is, will ships have similar permissions to freeholds? And this includes limiting specific functions of like a freehold, such as the use of a door to specific players. And the answer is no, they are completely owned by the owner. What this doesn't mean is that not all the functions are locked, but maybe some are locked to the party, outside of the party. So that means raids can't use it maybe, or only your party can. And the very last question, even though it's only two, is, are there any involuntary item sinks? So the answer is yes. So if you are corrupted and you die, you can lose gear depending on your corruption level and how much you are corrupted. But there's also, so when your item, such as, a weapon like a sword, is destroyed, it isn't simply just a few copper or gold or something like that. It's going to be a lot harder to repair, and depending on the level of how good the sword is or whatever it is, you might need a specific type of crafter, and you're going to need some of the basic resources to repair it. Overall, this video has really been exciting for me. I've never been in a large siege or any siege in any MMO, even though I haven't really played that many, but the most I've been in is like a small raid or a slightly large raid, but nothing with, like, in this situation, I think it's 130 v 130, so that's a lot, and even though this is alpha, this is just watching this gameplay is really exciting, so I cannot wait to see the Alpha 1 gameplay and anything like that. I'm excited. Let's see where it goes from here. Now, if you are enjoying my content, the Ashes of Creation videos, and the Ashes of Creation live streams, or just any Ashes of Creation content, you can support me, and it's both free and down below in the description. You can use my code, which should be on screen now, and if you want to check out Ashes of Creation clips, I've got a few of them. Well, I've got one of them. You can click that either, well, somewhere, description or on the screen. It'll probably be on the screen.